How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome back to another episode of the Real AF TV podcast, the show where we talk about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw, and I'm got on the other side.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, did we lose you? Did
Oh
we
no.
lose each
I'm
other?
I'm back. Like I heard it was just like a perfect weird like synthesized fade out. It just went, I'm Josh LaBaw, and it just faded into nothing. And I'm just like, oh no.
That is a perfect way to start the shenanigans for today. I think there's going to be some shenanigans because we're talking about turtles in
Woo.
both halves. Ninja Turtles specifically is coming up in the second half.
Oh
We're going to
yeah.
talk about real life turtles though for our fishing part. Now I know that's not exactly angling, and that is where I'm going to start it. How about you go ahead and introduce yourself anyway? Because you know, who
Yeah.
are you?
I'm Tim Wagner. I'm the other half of this shindig here, and I guess I was here the whole time. I thought I was gone for a moment, but I never left.
I thought I was gone, but I never left.
I thought I was gone, but I never left. Sounds all deep, like we're trying to get philosophical, and no, I just thought I thought I disappeared, but I'm here.
So turtles, Tim. I want to
Yup.
start with turtles and fishing in the
Yeah.
sense of have you caught a turtle? Do you know people who catch turtles? I've heard stories. I've never had the, I'll say, unfortunate incident happen to
Yeah.
me. And we'll get into why it always is unfortunate later. But has it happened to you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, turtles are a bitch. Uh, they they will they're hard to get the hook out of because they'll come up and eat the stuff like your night crawler. Mainly, you catch them when you're bobber fishing. A lot of times when we're like trying to catch spawning crappies or whatever, the same area where the water warms up that draws the crappies into spawn seems to be the same area of where the turtles were like hibernating, so to speak, or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then they become more active, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna eat everything along with these fish." And uh, yeah, I've I've caught a number of turtles. A lot of people in my family. I know my sister's caught turtles. My nephew
Damn.
Braxton has caught a turtle. Yeah,
Damn.
and
So,
and it's just like you see them eating your bait too. So you try to pull it away, and then they'll chase your bait, and then you stop paying attention for like 2 seconds, and then you're like, God damn it! I
and then you
caught the
have the turtle.
turtle. Yeah, and then you get them in, and it's not like a fish where you can just grab it and try to work the hook out. This thing's got claws. I mean, they're not super sharp or nothing, but it's still trying to push off your hand while you're trying to get the hook out. And you're just like, dude, just chill. I'm gonna let you go. But he's trying to like, no, let me go. And it's just a struggle.
Right. Yeah. Because with the fish, you kind of can grab it. And I mean, it's one body, right? This thing doesn't
Right.
have limbs like turtles do and necks. Turtles
Exactly.
got necks on them, man. That neck
Yeah.
is insane on
And
any turtle.
yeah, that's the other thing. They pull their heads in when you're trying to like get the hook out. They pull their
Mhm.
heads in the shell, and you can still see it in there. But it'd be a lot easier if they just let the head go, and instead they're just pulling in like, let me alone. And you're just like, dude, there's a hook in your face.
Right.
I tried to pull the hook away from you like 20 times, and then you decided to shove it in your face anyways. Just let me take it out.
So when it happens, like, because when you said a hook in your face, I'm taking it that is literal. Like, there's actually a hook coming because with fish, you usually get them in the lip and you pull them in, you work it out of the lip, whatever.
Yeah.
There is the rare time when you get them through the eye and stuff like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, what actually happens to the turtle?
I
Like,
mean, it's kind of the same thing as the fish where it just kind of hooks in like the roof of their mouth or whatever, but I don't know if they're like skeletal structure. I mean, they're a reptile,
mhm.
so like
Yeah, they have
what
well, they have like a thick skin to them just naturally. Like
yeah,
all reptiles are just like ancient creatures
yeah,
that have just like this natural armor built into even their skin.
right. And you don't seem to like Hook into them is easy, like they'll be biting on your hook the whole time. You can see your bobber bouncing around, and then you kind of reel up to see if you have any weight on the line, and there's nothing there. And then when you get a little bit closer to the boat, you realize that there's a turtle dicking with it. If a fish was doing
Mm.
that, you'd eventually catch it, or you
Mm-hmm.
take the hook in its mouth, and you'd be able to set it. But the turtle, like, it's more rare to get the hook in the to its mouth, but once it's in its mouth, it's a bitch to get out. So I don't know. I don't know if there's like some bone that you're kind of poking into there, or if it's
Mm-hmm.
like you said, just tougher skin. But yeah, it can be tough, and that's when they get it in their mouth. I have had one other incident where I was musky fishing, and I had a topwater musky lure on. This was it was like a whopper plopper is probably the best that people would relate to, is
Okay.
the kind of topwater bait. It's like one big blade. This one looked kind of like a baby loon. It's like a bullet shape, and it's got one big blade on the back, and it just goes flop,
Mm-hmm.
flop, 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 as you're reeling it in. So you
Mm-hmm.
cast it out and you reel it in, and I don't know how I ended up like snagging it. Apparently, it came up at the right time, but I had something get on the line, and I'm like, oh, there's a fish, and then I'm like, no, there's not a fish. I think I got weeds or something. There's just a bunch of weight, and I was pulling it in, and then it pulled back, and I'm like, shit,
Oh.
there's something here. I'm pretty sure, like, I felt something pull, and then there was nothing again, and I'm just looking over at my wife, like, I don't know what the hell is happening right now. Like, something
Oh.
pulls every once in a while, but there's nothing there. I get it to the boat, and I ended up snagging. It had to have been close to a 30-pound snapping turtle in the claw.
Oh
So
shit.
yeah, so it had its hand out, you stretched as I'm reeling, and then every once in a while it would try to pull its hand back in, like get it.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I was feeling. Like I'd just be dragging this dead weight, and then he'd pull his arm in, and I'm just
Oh
like,
my
what?
God.
Yeah, and then he gets to the side of the boat, and then we just stared at it for a while, like, what the fuck do I do with this?
Seriously, what do you do? Cut the
Like,
line? I don't
yeah, like
know.
I don't have him in the face. I can't control his head. I have him in the
Mm-hmm.
hand. What am I supposed to do? And I was like, if I net him, he's just gonna destroy my net. I'm not trying to put this thing in the net.
Yeah.
So we just stared at it for a while, and eventually he just kind of like pulled his hand free by himself. And
Oh,
we were just
weird.
contemplating, like it
And
got to
eventually
a
just got
yeah,
free.
it got to a point where I was gonna be like, Shannon, well, you just hold the rod. I'm gonna try grabbing his shell, and we'll get him out of the water and go from there, I guess. And then he got off, and like, oh, thank God.
Oh,
I didn't.
good. Dodge that fucking
Yeah,
bullet.
right. Those
Oh
musky
my
lures aren't
God.
cheap, man. I think that was like a $15 lure. It's not like I'm not just gonna cut the line and be like, well, good luck with your new hoof ornament
Your
or
new
whatever the hell
hoof
claw
ornament.
ornament, whatever the hell snapping turtles have. Claw ornament, I suppose.
That's actually a good way to segue into the species because we were saying, well, they don't really have claws and stuff like that. You said that earlier, and I'm like, snappers got fucking claws on them. So you must be catching painted turtles most
Yeah,
of the time,
yeah,
right?
yep. Painted turtles are the only ones that we've ever caught. I mean, I snagged that snapping turtle, but it's always painted turtle besides that.
Yeah, and you can, well, the Western painted turtle is very normal to our part of the country, the middle of the upper north part of the country. But could you describe, how would you describe it? I would just say orange belly.
Yeah, dude,
Orange belly, black skin.
right. They're super cool looking. They're like
They
their
are.
arms are like black, and then there's a little bit of like yellow, almost kind of like vertical stripes. They go like along the arm, but then the belly has like yellow in the middle and orange around the outside, and it just kind of like I almost
Some,
like the yellow and the black kind of like spread a little bit out into the orange.
I've always thought of them as almost like ribs. Like it's almost like
Yeah.
that's what it's like that design, for lack of a better way of putting it, on the bottom of that orange
Yeah,
belly is
dude, that
almost like it's ribs looking.
yeah, that makes sense. Cause isn't I've always kinda thought of it as, like, it's patterned kind of like a leaf. But
Oh,
aren't
yeah,
aren't
mhm.
the aren't the little lines in a leaf called ribs?
Oh, I don't know.
I
That's a
don't
really
know.
good question, but
I don't
you're
know either.
talking the classic maple leaf is the best example. When you get a maple leaf, has those hard lines in it, and
Yeah, yeah, just the hard lines coming out or
yeah,
veins. I don't know. I'm not a leaf expert, but
yeah,
yeah.
me
And then
neither. I don't.
there's like they have little yellow lines on the face too. I always know what turtle is because you don't see the orange belly when they're in the water, but you see the little
Mhm.
like lines on their face when their faces pop up.
Yeah, when they pop up to breathe when they're out there in the lake, you can
Yeah,
see. Mhm, yeah, and they're
yeah.
not very big. I mean, like, what's the biggest one you've caught? Because when I see them around here in the ponds around here,
Mm,
I'm talking like, well, I was gonna say a hockey puck, which is just another giant northern reference, but, I mean,
yeah.
they're small,
Well,
they're, like, no more than I would guess maybe a foot from head to tail, which is also, by the way, how you measure them if you're going to actually keep them from head to tail, that shell from head to tail. You gotta
yeah.
that's the regs.
Okay, hold
But I
on.
would say no more than
Let's
way less than a foot. What am I talking
yeah.
about? I'm talking
Well,
6 inches would be big for around here.
yeah, no, they get bigger than that. Let's go back to your regulations thing because I got a question for you on that because I've never looked into it before, but I've seen them um, not as round as a dinner plate, but definitely as long as a dinner plate. Like they
Oh,
get,
damn.
yeah, they get relatively big. So there was one time, um, I guess, uh, speaking of catching a turtle, I didn't really think about this part, but when me and my sister were younger, like right. Yeah, so I must have been like 16, 15,
Yeah.
16,
Yep, and it's
and
actually under 16 or licensed is in Minnesota is the,
yeah.
like, if you're keeping it.
So, yeah, we didn't know that there was rules. Probably definitely could have got in trouble for this. We let them all go, but
Mhm.
me and my sister had the net, and there's a spot on Lake Chaminade where it's a real weedy bay, and all the turtles go back there, and we kept seeing the heads pop up, and we would see the heads pop up, and we would jab the net in the water, and we catch them, and then we put them in the water, and we or put them in the boat. And I
Mm,
had
mhm.
this like older 16-foot Lund boat,
Mhm.
and the whole bottom was just aluminum. There was no carpeting or anything. And dude, I don't even know, 40, 50 turtles. We caught so many of them, and we brought them all back to the cabin, and I didn't really think about it at the time, like, we knew we had stuff in there, and we stopped the boat, and my parents are like, "What is that noise?" And they could hear because we had so many turtles in there, they could hear all their claws on the aluminum.
Scraping against the aluminum.
Yeah, so they're just like, they said that we
Oh
pull up
my
and they could
god.
just hear this weird, like, and they're just like, "What is that?" We're just like, "Yeah, we got, like, 50 turtles in here."
Actually, you guys probably would have been fine. I mean, my understanding is even if you're that young, you can't use a net to catch them because nets, traps, and things like that do require a commercial license.
Okay.
But you can have, if you're under 18, you can
Yeah.
have up to 25 painted turtles in your possession.
Really?
And you can sell them because turtle races are a real thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
I have no, what do you mean? Yeah, for sure. I read that and I was like, what the hell?
I think I think Niswa. I think Niswa has turtle races. Like people come around, like they bring their turtles with them. They're just
What's
like,
Nisswa? Is
yeah.
that a town up north?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Niswa. I probably should explain that. Yeah, Niswa is a smaller town. It's like one of those kind of uh souvenir type towns. I can't think of the kind of.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
got
you're talking
it's
about it's not a tourist
yeah,
town, but it's a seasonal town basically, right? Like
right.
they get
Yeah. Well, no,
yeah, they're
it's
built
like
on
a
everybody coming up there for the summer.
exactly, yeah, and it's like a seasonal. It's kind of like a tourist town. I mean, there's not a ton to see there, but it's a very small town with like one main street, and the whole main street is like all these like knickknack shops. Like there's
Mm.
fudge
Mhm.
shops, and you go in, they're just like, oh, here's all this other random ass stuff. Like, if anybody's ever been to Wall Drug, South Dakota, it's kind of a similar feel where there's just like all these little
Mhm.
shops you can buy stuff at, but there's no real good reason for it to be there. You're just like, what the hell is this town. They just have shit for me to buy, I guess. Okay. But they have turtle races. There's a parking lot, and inside the parking lot, there's like this big Target. And from my understanding, I think they like all go to the middle or they start from the outside. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how it works. And you let
Sure.
your turtles go and then they race. But
But it's like a big thing there
yeah,
in that town.
it's like once a year. It's like, hey, the turtle
Mm-hmm.
races.
Huh. That's crazy, dude. I had no idea. Like I said, I read that and I was like, "What the hell?" Because
Yeah,
yeah, they like you can sell them, and I was just like, "People are buying turtles? Like, man, this is
yeah.
wild."
Well, you
And yes,
can,
again, that's only the painted turtles, those smaller ones.
yeah.
Um, and you know how you said so the max shell is 5'5". You can only keep a 5 inch
Oh, so
five,
you gotta let go of the big ones.
but unless it's for turtle racing.
Oh,
Then
if
it
you,
has to just be bigger than 4 inches, that's it.
so
So, those
if you
turtle
just,
races, you could get the dinner plate ones.
geez, yeah, they're gonna move faster than the little guys for sure. They got such a long
Longer
wingspan.
legs.
What the hell? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, of course, maybe the Nisswa turtle race has, like, a regulation size, but I'm just saying, like, those are the regs. In Minnesota, of course, I'm speaking for
right.
Minnesota. Um,
I just,
the
I now after you said that, I just started picturing like we show up with a dinner plate size, and you got these guys just, hey, what do you got going on over here now? Is you got this big old dinner plate? You're trying to enter into the races? Are you joking me? Here, like,
You joking?
are you joking me? Everybody knows you get the little guys. We all race the little guys. You trying to cheat? You coming in with this juiced up monster over here? You get him out.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. It would go to snapping turtles, and that the reason why I wanted to bring that one up is because the I've never heard of anybody eating painted turtle ever. Again, they're so
No.
small, and you found bigger ones. People definitely eat snapping turtles or snappers.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
does anybody
Yeah.
else call them snappers around the country? If you do, please let us know somewhere. There's contact on realaf.tv for sure. You can just contact us there. Twitter, Instagram, let us know because I feel like saying snapping turtle is less common than saying a snapper.
Well, a snapper, if you're on like a coastal um area, like I don't know how far snapping turtles go, but snapper there are also fish that are called snappers, but they're ocean
There we
fish.
go.
So, yeah,
Good point. Very good point.
I would assume that the coastal places don't, but
Right.
yeah.
Good. Oh yeah, and so snappers. First of all, I I have a photo here on the dock, and this thing is like the color of mud. Uh, I
Yeah, dude.
was looking up because there's other than the nets, like you can't have nets and traps and stuff like that without a commercial license. Seems like you can just catch turtles anyway. I was looking this up and people were just finding them in the mud and they were just like, there's a big old snapper in the mud. That's dinner. They would just dig it out of the mud and grab it by its shell. That's it. That's how you fish in quotes or it.
Jeez.
But I know they get caught. Yeah, which I would never do. Okay, I shouldn't say I'd never do that and cut to 2 years from now we're making a snapper turtle video.
Right.
And there I am like, okay, I'm gonna grab it, guys. Um, but so the minimum shell on these is 12 inches. Minimum is 12 inches on this
Yeah.
thing. I mean, oh my God, that's insane. Dude, such a big turtle. Yours had to be that size or bigger, the one you snagged in the foot?
Yeah, about that size, yeah, because that's got to be like a 25, 30 pound turtle in that picture. I see big ones like that every once in a while, and they just
Okay.
disappear, dude. That's
What are
the
you,
creepiest part to me, where
in the water?
they go down to where the
Hmm.
weeds get a little bit thicker, and because of their coloring and how they have like moss growing on their shell and stuff, you'll see this monster turtle, and you'll go, "Oh shit!" and like try to tell the people in the boat with you, like, "Look at that turtle," and it'll see you at the same time and go, "Oh shit!" and go down into the weeds and just vanishes. And
Oh
like
my
this,
God.
the water is super clear on Chaminade, so you can see the
Right.
weeds. I can
Hmm.
see exactly where he went in, and I can see no evidence of him being there anymore.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I do not go swimming in like if there's stick weeds, where
Mm-hmm.
some people are just like, "Oh, what's the big deal? It's just weeds." Now, I'm not nervous about the weeds. I'm nervous about what's in the weeds.
Yeah.
Seeing
And
those
do
big
you,
things just disappear.
yeah. Did you have hand-on experience with one? Do you want to describe a little bit? I mean, I can obviously they have these super powerful jaws. I mean, I've seen them
Yeah.
take 2-inch diameter sticks like nobody's business and just snap it right in half. That's where they get their name from. But you have
Yeah.
hands-on experience. Like, what does it more look like? Because we got the like brown, muddy color.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what they look like. If you're familiar with like the color like soft plastic baits and stuff, green pumpkin is what a lot of people use because a green pumpkin bait matches the weeds and stuff. And when you're fishing clear water, I know it kind of sounds weird, but when you're matching the weeds and the bait, kind of it's almost like this non-stealthy or like this kind of stealthy approach where it looks like the bait is almost meant to blend in there. It's like it
Hmm.
tricks the fish into eating it more, like it's not standing out as much is kind of how I look at it. But that color, that like green pumpkinish, like that's kind of what it is. It's like this greenish and there's little flecks of black and maybe a little bit of brown there, but they they match the weed color really well. Their heads are a little bit
Mm-hmm.
darker, but when their heads
Mm-hmm.
come up, it's real easy to tell that it's not a painty turtle. Well, for one, I mean their heads are gigantic, but two, it's almost kind of like a not a pyramid shape, but
Yeah,
kind
but
of
yeah, you're not
like a
wrong. It's
wedge.
like a yeah, that's a good way to put it. Almost like a sideways pyramid or something or
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's just this big thing that comes up, and sometimes you're just like, you see it and you go, Jesus, is that a snapping turtle? Or and then you're like, no, it's a log or whatever, and then it'll go under it and you go, oh shit, that was a snapping turtle. Like you don't always get right on top of them. You'll see them from a
Right.
distance, but
Mhm. They
yeah,
have that pointed nose, and I think that's probably part of the biting force is they have these giant heads on them, but their noses get kind of pointy, like you said, right? Like,
yeah. And the other the other way I would describe them too, like if you've ever seen them out of the water, because turtles lay eggs, but they lay them in the soil, like they
mm-hmm,
find sand or whatever. So
mm-hmm,
on multiple occasions, we've seen them on like the land behind the cabins, like up on the road and stuff, because they'll come
yep,
out and they'll walk up in
mm-hmm.
there. And dude,
And
it's
these are
like,
the snappers that you see?
yeah, it's like
Oh
it's
man, is it
it's
digging the hole? Because that's like
well,
the
no,
claws are used for helping dig that hole, the
yeah,
egg hole, and those things have giant claws on them. I mean,
yeah, dude, they have
it's a big
nasty
turtle.
claws.
Just think about it's got like dog claws on it, but they're
Well,
fucking
that's
sharp.
yeah, that's the thing when I was trying to like figure out what I should do with it when I grab it and bring it up. That's why I wasn't gonna put it in the net because I knew it had powerful claws besides the teeth, and I'm like, well, I don't even know how to grab this because you don't have to worry about just that snapper, like
Right.
just his mouth. You got to worry about those hands too.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I've never seen him digging a hole. I've just seen him moving from point A to point B. But they're just like the bulldog of the reptile world. They're just like
Yes.
stout. They're like stout little dinosaurs. You're just like, Jesus, look at
Yes. Yeah, dude, that's a perfect way to put it, is that they're the bulldog of the reptile world.
that.
They
Just
really
like,
are
yeah,
super
just
tough.
little
And
tough dudes.
yeah, yeah. Uh, it's it's good that you bring up the up on the land thing because I just read this article in the uh, newspaper around here. The Stan he's the outdoor guy for the Cheska Herald, and his name or actually does. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. Stan Tikala. God, I messed that up. If you ever hear this, Stan, please let me know. But so this article was from June uh, 16th. So it's in June when they actually
Okay.
come out of the water. I would assume is sort of in this area, maybe all over because it has to be 88 degrees for um, the eggs to develop into they specifically turn into females at that uh, And if it's 82 degrees, the eggs turn male. Uh, so 82 to 88 is what you need for the eggs to incubate while they're buried in the ground. The turtles, they never go
Jesus.
back. Yeah, the
Right.
turtles never go back. So, I mean, think about those like cold days we have in June and stuff like that. So that's why it's not until like the middle of June, through July. I wonder if when you see them up north, if it's different or if this article was kind of like broad stroking the whole state. But I just couldn't believe that like if it's a hot summer, there's going to be more female turtles born, and if it's a colder summer, there'll be more males turn. And I'm just like, that's so fucking crazy. That's the weirdest thing.
That is weird. Like reptiles are weird in general, man, but I didn't know that. Like it depends on what temperature. Like could you imagine that if it was any other animal or even humans?
Yeah,
Where
I know.
you're telling your wife like you better not turn down the heat, woman I want a dude or like what just just weird stuff like that. You could just determine the sex by the temperature or whatever.
Yeah, isn't that just so weird? I was just like, "What the heck?" That I couldn't believe it. So I just had to share that because you're just talking about the eggs, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna get into that because I couldn't believe it." And also, they don't get sexually mature until they're 10 years old. 10 years old. I
Whoa.
mean, for an animal, that's a long time.
That
So,
is a long time for an animal.
wow, yeah, it was pretty weird to hear that. But
Well,
turtles,
I mean,
they live
I
to be
guess
like
like
50, 100 years old or whatever. You hear
right, yeah.
snappers, and they're like, "Oh, 100-year-old snapping turtle."
Yeah, right. I mean, they get I knew that turtles get old. I don't know what species makes it to what, you know. You got
Mhm. Yeah.
you got what's his name in Finding Nemo, whatever he said, 150 years young, dude, or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Duh. Yeah.
yeah, I learned in this podcast that probably broken multiple laws as far as turtles go, because
Well, that's okay.
we
We don't have to get
definitely
into that, but
we definitely kept the statute of limitations. I'm pretty sure you
oh, yeah,
can't
for sure.
have the
Yeah.
DNR coming after you because 20 years down the road, like when you were 16, you kept
Right,
turtles.
yeah.
But the painted turtles, like we definitely kept ones bigger than we were supposed to. But we've also had um, baby snappers.
Mm.
We've found some of
Mhm.
the turtles like wandering the wrong way, and my sister kept them as pets. We've had
Mm.
uh, baby painted and snappers.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard of
and
people having babies all the time. I didn't know anything about the regs on that. I
yeah,
mean,
dude.
come on.
Even as
Everybody's,
even
like,
as
had that baby thing, though.
yeah, even as a baby, they look dope. I mean,
Yeah, they're
like
because they come out, like, fully colored.
yeah, since we're talking about the TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, anyways, coming up, it's like your painted turtles are kind of like the Ninja Turtles, not like
Mhm.
physical build, but they're just kind of like smooth and their shells are nice and they're easy to look at. And Shredder's got all these jaggy points and stuff, and that's what the snappers
Oh,
were like the
dude.
shells. They
It's
look
totally a good
they
reference.
look
Mhm.
tougher. You're just like, well,
Oh,
even as a
yep.
baby, you're like, I don't know if I should put my finger in that cage. Like, it's not gonna do anything to
Serious.
you. It's a baby, but you still don't want to fuck with it.
No, it's just because it looks mean. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a bulldog with a shredder costume on.
yeah, yep, pretty much. Is it-
That actually so there's another third one that speaking of, like, the looks and stuff and the smooth shell, this whole turtle looks smooth, like, this thing just looks like a pile of mud, this spiny soft shell.
yeah,
Dude, so how I mean, I called it a pile of mud. How would you
yeah,
describe that thing? I mean, it's got spots on its back, like darker
yeah, dude,
brown
pretty
spots,
much.
but
Yeah, I would say probably the same. Like, they look like they would be super soft. I saw one on Shamina one time on the
oh, you did?
backside, on the backside of the island. We were driving, and as we were coming up, I fished this lake so many times, and I know the spots that I've been at. I'm just like, that's a weird rock, and then it ran into the water,
Oh.
and I
Oh
was just
god.
like, holy Christ! And I tried to point it out to everybody else. Did anybody else see that? And they're just like, no, what? And and I knew what kind of turtle it was, not because of the shape of the shell, but because of the shape of the face. Because these ones
Yes,
have
'cause
these long, weird, like Pinocchio noses,
yeah,
and it ran into the water, and that thing had to have been, I don't know, 24 inches around.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
just a giant circle.
yeah, and I didn't know that these were big either until, like, I even doing the research, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but in the photo, I look at this turtle in the photo that I put in the dock and I go, "Ah, it's just a little bit bigger than a painted turtle," or, "It's like a big painted turtle," and then you look at the regs and it goes, "Minimum shell, 12 inches," and I went, "Well, that's a snapper too. Holy shit."
Yeah, but these ones aren't scary like a snapper. These ones are they got weird noses. I don't know what kind of turtle it was, but something very similar to this was down in a pond in Florida. We stayed in a hotel
Mm,
room down in Florida, and
mhm.
the thing swam up to me, and it has kind of menacing
What?
eyes. Like the eyes look like he was ready to do something.
The eyes
From
are almost like angry cartoon eyes where it's only a
Yeah,
half
dude.
eye with an extended eyebrow on it,
Isn't that
right?
isn't that weird? Yeah, he looked like he
Yeah.
was he looked like he was up to something, and he was just kind of looking at me. But he came up to me, and I'm just kind of like sitting here having this moment with this turtle. Like it swam up to me, and I'm just looking at it, and it's looking at me, and I'm just kind of like, this is kind of cool. But I feel like he's up to something still. Look at the look in his eyes.
Them shifty eyes,
Right.
man.
Yeah, and I don't know if people feed those guys, and that's what he was just waiting for food. That's
Right.
why he's shooting me that weird shifty look. Just
Yeah,
like,
but yeah,
where's my food,
they
bro?
don't look menacing other than their eyes. They look like a soft pile of mud with some
Hmm.
dark brown spots on it. I mean,
No,
they don't
no,
look dangerous like this like the snappers do.
no. Even like that turtle in that pond, like it probably wasn't this same. It was probably like a relative. I'm sure it wasn't the
Mhm.
same kind of turtle, but it had that same kind of face, and the nostrils are like
Hmm.
right in front of that weird nose.
Oh, are they?
And I remember just looking at him like he had that weird look in his eye, but there was no fear at all. Like, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? Slowly walk out, and I'm just gonna like move back.
Right, yeah.
I'm not nervous about it, but a snapping turtle, even if you know they can't move fast, you're just like, screw that, I'm out of here.
Right, yep, you just go away. Yep, I'm with you on that. I
Yep,
just get away from them. Like,
not
"No way,
screwing with
man.
that thing.
Nope."
Goddamn dinosaur. They've been around for millions of years for a reason.
Right, yeah, exactly.
They are survivors.
Yep, don't wanna screw with them, that's for
Nope.
sure. Um, I looked up some other regs quick before we shut this down because I was like, "Oh, yeah, there's sea turtles too. Wonder
Yep.
what that means." So, like, Georgia came up. Um, they don't have a closed season on their freshwater turtles. Here, we sort of have windows and stuff, but everything freezes here, so that pretty much just puts a kibosh on all reptiles around here. Like, you're not gonna go turtle hunt in July when it's fucking -20 air temperature out. They're well hidden and hibernating.
Yeah.
But obviously in Georgia, they can come out anytime.
Right.
But yeah, when I look it up, it goes on freshwater turtles, there's no season, and I went, huh. Oh yeah, coastline. Son of a
Right.
bitch. That's just so weird. Um, they, I think, have more of a turtle eating. Let's just say this. I looked up two southern, and they had less regs on there. Two southerns. I looked up Georgia and Virginia.
Yeah.
They just had less regs going on. In Virginia, they're actually having some sort of new regs for commercial fishing because they think they're being overfished, and that made me think like, so they must have more of a turtle eating culture down there because I've only heard people eat them. I've
Yeah.
never actually seen it. I've never actually been part of cleaning it and doing it. I got one commercially raised one once. That was at the meat department. And it was horrible. I didn't prep it right. I know I didn't because even after they
Mm.
had commercially, it was just a
Yeah.
piece of meat. It still needed more prep. Have
Right.
you ever cooked it at all?
I've never had turtle, no, but I want to. I watched videos about how to clean them and stuff, like if I ever got them.
Mm.
Those are
Mm-hmm.
creepy. Like a snapping turtle in the videos, they'll cut
Mm-hmm.
off the snapping turtle's head and then they'll like
Mm-hmm.
clean it and stuff, but you have to move the head because it'll like bite you hours after it's been decapitated.
Yeah, you have to snap that you have to make it bite down on something. Yep, I've heard
Yeah,
that before. You just like you cut it off to kill it, and then you put a stick in its mouth so that way the jaw comes down, so that way you don't get bit by it. This is like you said, hours after it's been dead.
yeah, it'll still
That's
bite you.
creepy.
Yeah, and
Have
they bleed way more than a fish. Like when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh,
oh yeah,
Jesus,"
hmm oh
because
yeah.
it's
I'm
not.
sure this has to be like killing a smaller animal. Like a when you're out rabbit hunting or squirrel hunting
Yeah,
or
but a
like a
rabbit and
mammal.
stuff. Yeah, but like the mammals, you kill while you're hunting it. You shoot it or whatever. Like this
Yeah,
is alive until you kill it, and it's just a mess. I watched it and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I want any part of this."
yeah, I know. I've actually thought about that. And actually, in Georgia, you can take turtles with firearms as long as it's that firearms season. That's
I
what I was
would,
going to ask. Have you ever seen
yeah.
anybody dispatch the animal like that before?
No, but I would be cool with that. Like if we were gonna eat them, I'd prefer to shoot them first instead of cutting their heads off while they're still alive. Like the video I watched, the guy's got him in the back of his pickup truck, and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, he's driving around. You can hear him sliding in his video as
Mm-hmm.
he's driving, and he's like, "Wow, they're gonna be angry," and just like, probably, dude. I wouldn't be
Oh
happy
my
about that.
God.
And you just pull him out to murder him. I'd be pretty
Right.
pissed.
Yeah, of course it's going to be pissed off. Yeah, no, I wonder. And if anybody knows, please, again, let us know. Real AFTV, just look for us on Twitter and stuff because I don't know if a 22 would take out a 13-inch freaking
Oh,
snapper. They're
it would.
so crazy.
Yeah, I depends on where you shoot them. Really, I would
Well,
a
I think you'd
20.
try to shoot in the head, right?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
would
know, because
kill him.
where's its heart? I don't know.
I don't know
Under the
either.
shell.
Yeah, you would kill him if you shot him in the head for sure.
You think
A
so?
20, yeah, a 22 is like, well, if you know where the brain is, I suppose. Like a
Right,
minnow
yeah.
or whatever, if I put the hook through its face, it still lives. You got to hit the brain. So,
Right.
so if you know where the brain is, you'd be able to because I think the 22 actually might have a little bit better chance than some of the other rounds just because of the diameter. I think it'd go through easier.
Mm,
And
yeah, yeah,
not
no, I
make
get what
such
you're
a
saying.
mess and just go right through the top and penetrate the brain if you knew where you were shooting.
Right. Yep. Where a bigger round might, yeah, do
But
more.
that being said, yes, if anybody knows, definitely let us know. But I think a 22 would do the trick and not destroy all your meat. Because another thing I've heard, I don't know if you looked into this, because I don't know. I heard that turtles have like 20 different flavors of meat. Like all the different muscles are like different.
What?
Yeah, I heard that they're like slightly different flavors. Like,
Whoa.
yeah, that's what I've heard at least. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, no,
There's
I think
a
well, we could do a whole nother episode
there
on that. We should do a video on that because now knowing that because I've always wanted to do it too. But the thing is I've always heard people just making turtle soup, and so you know what that is. You just take the
yeah, I
whole
think that's
animal
what
and
they
you
do.
just cook it down and get it tender, so you don't get all those
Right.
20 different because it falls
Yep.
apart.
Yeah, you just let it cook through, yeah. And yeah, we should definitely do an
Yeah,
episode on that because dude, if like I didn't even know you could keep painted turtles. I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, no, I've
Let's
never heard of it
let's
either.
keep a bunch. Snappers are hard to come by. I could get you 5 snapping turtles tomorrow, or
Painted turtles tomorrow.
painted
Yeah,
turtles. You know,
in
we
the
could
next
make
five
a
minutes.
meal out of some painted turtles. Yeah. Well, I mean, we gotta get
Right.
to the lake, but once we're there,
Well, well, hell yeah. Internet, hold us accountable for that one. We are gonna make a turtle cooking episode. That will be fucking dope.
yep,
All
we're
right,
gonna do
let's
it.
talk about Ninja Turtles, but first we gotta take a break. Hit the beatbox.
Countdown to goodness.
And we are back from break. If you're just joining us now, this is the Real AFTV podcast, podcast where we talk about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
and we're
getting
gonna
all
get nighttime on everybody here. Nighttime AM radio.
Sunday night slow jams.
Oh, fuck no. We're going to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a huge influence on us as kids. I'm certain of it. The reason
Oh
why
yeah.
I still eat pizza till this day.
It's the reason I'm good with the bow staff.
It's the reason I've been hitting the nuts number of times with
Oh,
nunchucks.
dude, nobody knows how to use those, and everybody tried.
Everybody tried. Totally racked our nuts way too many times.
Oh my gosh, Bruce Lee could play ping pong with them, and everybody else is just in there trying to. Whoa, you try to spin them around. You go like over one shoulder, over the other, and then you're just like, "This is kind of cool," but there's something we should do with the legs, right? Whop! Oh, god damn!
Oh, you just
That
fall over.
that wasn't right. Oh.
Oh, all right. I want to do a little housekeeping before we get into this. RealAFTV.com and search for us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just look up Real AF TV with 2 E's because we put a lot of shit on there, actually. We hit it pretty hard, and I want you
Good.
guys to see it. There's going to be some Ninja Turtle stuff up. I'm going to look for some Ninja Turtle stuff because I might have some stuff lying around.
Well, we already have not any Ninja Turtle just by itself, but I know for sure we both have photos of us with fish and Ninja Turtle shirts.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. Is I'm pretty sure we've already had T-shirts showing up, so
Yep. I think
it was just a matter of time till we got to this topic.
you got your personal best bass in a turtle shirt.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know that one that Sarah got. I had an Angry Birds shirt on, but I
Yeah,
can see that.
I think your personal best with Sam was a TMNT shirt
Oh yeah, dude,
because
it
I'm
totally
pretty sure I
was
did a
that
throwback.
full print one I
Yeah,
got.
because I did a throwback Thursday, and the caption I put was
Mm-hmm.
TMNT plus PB equals dope pick.
That's right. I remember now too. Hell yeah. See, told you. That's why I wanted to do it. That's how you tie it all together. I was, of
Boom.
course, kidding about the pizza thing at the beginning, but I honestly think
What'd you say about
I
pizza?
bet you. Oh, I said at the beginning, I was like, TMNT, the reason why I still eat pizza to this day.
Oh yeah, no, pizza's just
No,
awesome.
pizza's fucking dope.
The reason you have your weird eats, that is because of Michelangelo's taste. I bet though. That's why
Oh,
you're
yeah.
that's why
And he
you're
was my
doing your
jam too.
weird food. Oh,
Probably, dude.
he was
Because he was
everybody's.
never back down. He was everybody's.
He was everybody. I don't know a single
Seriously.
person that was like, my favorite's Donatello. Like, no, Mikey.
No.
Everybody loves Mikey.
Even though I grew up to be a Donatello dude, everybody just wanted to be the party dude. Shaka bra.
Right, Shaka Bra. Yeah, no, I mean everybody likes their people. I like uh Leonardo too. I think it was because of the double swords. Like that's
Oh,
just sweet.
seriously.
Double
Yeah.
swords.
Those are the
Right.
raddest.
Yeah. It's so dope. Like Raphael has those size. Get out of here.
Get out of here with those damn things.
Stupid sigh things. He had an
Right.
attitude too. I don't know. I just
He
Raphael.
was.
Yeah, Raphael wasn't my favorite. Little life hack for you kids out there. If you wear a Mutant Ninja Turtles shirt out in public, girls are going to talk to you about it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like I like TMNT. I wear Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles shirts uh, pretty regularly, and I will go out places, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, TMNT. Mikey's my favorite," and like
Mikey's my favorite.
you get a good idea of who they are straight off the bat too. Like I'm not out there trying to pick up chicks, but they talk to you, and then every once in a while you just be like, "Oh, I love Raphael," and you're just like, "Ugh, glad you said
Ugh.
that straight out the gate." Keep
Yeah.
walking.
That's actually a really good point that I wanted to make. Is like, I mean, I can't believe you'd ever find this podcast and not know who the Ninja Turtles are, but
Right,
they had those. We've already sort of touched on is they had the 4 distinct personalities, right? Is there's like
right,
Leo, the leader type, who was always trying to like impress Shredder, then
yep,
Mikey, the fucking party dude, screw off kind of dingbat,
right,
then
right.
Donnie, the super smart freaking nerd guy. Like I said, I grew up to be a Donatello, but always Mikey in the background. And then Raph, yeah, he was the rash, like out of
Right.
control guy, all
Yep.
named after famous artists.
Yeah, all
Can
Renaissance
can you
period artists.
Yeah. Yeah. What were their full names? Because I just say them by their short name. Well, Michelangelo
Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, and Leonardo.
and Leonardo. Those are their full names, yes.
Yep.
I realized I went through it with all their nicknames.
Yeah.
Uh, did you know that our version of the Ninja Turtles, the early 90s, did you know that's like the OG animated series?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought there was one before. I just didn't realize we were like the start of the Ninja Turtles. Like that was a new thing, and it's just so crazy
Yeah.
because that thing, dude, they're still going.
I know, dude. No,
It's
we grew up with the OG old school stuff. I don't know if they've come out with like new bad guys and stuff, but yeah, we had the OG. I don't know if there was a comic book or anything before it, but that for sure, like the
they're
animated series, like that was the first animated series. I knew that, and then it grew from there. Like people got
right.
into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then it became,
Toys
the
and the fucking world exploded into a
toys.
whole new
Oh, dude, I had so many dope toys. They were
seriously. Oh, and quick, it was a comic, but it was like a one-off comic.
okay.
And then they saw it and it got picked up for an animated series to make toys, basically. It's fucking
Was it?
crazy.
Do you didn't? I don't know if you did any research into it. Was it one of those that like made an appearance in something else, or was it just like its own
No,
thing?
yeah, it was its own thing.
Okay.
Actually, I got a lot of this, not a lot of this. I got a good chunk of this from The Toys That Made Us on Netflix. It's a special
Mm,
on Netflix where they just talk about toys and basically,
okay.
yeah, I mean Ninja Turtle toys, which is where we're going to go down. But
Yeah,
the two
dude.
guys, they just drew up these turtles and they made a comic, and it was like
Dude.
it was pretty much just them. They were just like, "Oh, it's a cool comic. Let's do
Yeah.
it."
And
And then someone saw it.
I love the animation of but like all the different things that come with it, how they were all so uniquely turtles. Like when you see one of their toys, you could see it from a distance and you don't need to know that it's turtles involved or you don't have to see TMNT. You're just like that thing is a Ninja Turtles, like
Yeah.
their
Mhm.
van. They had
Mhm.
like a van that was like a Volkswagen van, but it was like a little bit wider and it had like I had one that shot sewer grates out of it.
Yeah,
Like you
dude,
loaded
that
the
was the
sewer
van.
grate.
I swear to
Yeah.
God, that was the van for our generation.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sweet. And then
Oh,
like
the
all the
door flopped out, like that there was like a
yeah.
side hatch
Yeah,
door.
and I think they could
Yeah.
I think there was like a little like for some reason there was like a gun turret they could sit on and stuff. That show didn't like when you think about it back in like that show didn't really make a whole lot of sense as far as like there was always the Foot Clan there and stuff.
Mhm.
And like were they I haven't watched it in so long. Were they legitimately murdering him? Like Donatello
Oh.
is hitting him with bow staves. You got
Mhm.
Mikey with the nunchucks. Like Leo comes in with two swords.
Right, and even
Like,
Raph with those 2 daggers essentially.
yeah, just
Like, I
slicing
don't know.
everybody up and like I remember the vans and stuff. I thought they had guns and shit too for some reason. You're just like, Jesus. This is a
Right,
little
yeah,
bit
no, I remember that. I swear that toy had a gun on, or
yeah,
that the toy van had a gun in, like, the side hatch or
right.
something like
But
that. Yeah, no, I don't know.
that
Did
was
they
when
murder?
times
Good
yeah,
question.
I don't know. That was when times were a little bit not as PC and like
Yeah, like,
I
a kid's
remember
murdering show
dude,
is, like, whatever,
I
as long as
remember
they're not showing the
every
blood.
yeah, I remember every toy I had a gun on it. Like
Mhm.
just
Seriously.
everything. And some of those shows were so hardcore. I don't like completely off topic. We should talk about this a different time, but Mighty Max. Do you ever watch Mighty Max?
Oh, no, but I had Mighty Maxes,
Dude,
so I
I
would
had
I
Mighty
would totally
Maxes
do research
too.
and jump in on that with
So
you.
I had Mighty Max too, and they're like little toys. They were like the answer to Polly Pocket, like the little tiny.
Totally. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were the boy answer to Polly Pocket. They were super small
yeah.
characters, like, less than
That
an inch tall.
right. That show is so hardcore and badass. Like I'm not. You got to watch it. I'm not even kidding. Like Mighty
Oh,
Max
yeah,
has
dude.
this guy from back in the day that's just like this Viking warrior with this giant axe, and they literally go to like these like places underground, and there's lava everywhere, and it's
Oh, yeah.
hardcore. Like this Mighty
Oh, I
Max
remember
is
the, like, art
oh
style being crazy even, like, just with the toys, it was, like, super badass, like,
yeah.
heavy duty, so, yeah, I guess the turtles were a little they weren't like that.
No, no, they were a lot tamer. It was a lot more fun.
Did you know they didn't have colors at first? They were just, like,
No,
all blue, or they were all green,
really?
or their bands were all one color, and
Okay,
yeah, they were like, so it's super hard to tell who's who." So they just
right.
gave them colors.
It's like a
That
Mickey
was, like, the
Mouse
solution.
thing, like
Mickey Mouse thing, huh?
Mickey Mouse's gloves.
What?
Like, Mickey Mouse has gloves because back in the day, like the animation, it was hard to tell like the difference between his hands or like his fingers or whatever.
Oh,
I can't remember exactly what it was, but that's
sure,
why
sure,
he has
sure.
the gloves and no shirt, because then you could see the hands properly.
Oh, that's such a
As
good idea.
Yeah, isn't
I
that
mean, the
weird?
same
Like
here, it's just like
little
practicality makes the best thing, because that was the
right.
best.
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
had their color too. Well, I think this is why I like green so much. Do you think Mikey's why you like orange so much? Because I think the reason why green's my
It's
favorite color
possible.
is because of the turtles.
Yeah, well, and Mikey and Leonardo, like those are my two favorite, blue and orange. I love that
Right.
combination. Like they just look cool together, but there's definitely probably some underlying psychological stuff from our
That's what I
childhood
started
there.
thinking when I was doing this research. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Because I love orange too. I mean, it's so crazy to just think about and go like, oh, what the hell?
Right. Yeah.
Um, did you know that there was a live action show? Did you watch that? That shit is on was
Mhm.
on Netflix. Did you watch that?
I have one of them. Think I have the first one on DVD.
No, no, not the movie. There was a show.
A live action show?
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation ran from in 97, 98 era.
No, I don't think I
Dude,
ever watched the live action show. I watched the live action movies.
trust me, you don't want to even see clips from it. I watched about 2 seconds on Netflix and I was like, "Whoa, okay."
Are you sure? Is it not one of those that sounds like one of those where it could be so bad that it's good?
Okay, so you're saying give it another shot and I might laugh my ass off at it.
I wanna watch it.
Because no, of course the movies, there were 90, 91, 93. I don't remember much but the first one. Do you remember the samurai one?
Yeah, that was
I
the
see.
3rd
I
one.
don't have like any. Yeah, it was the third one. I have like no memory of that.
Yeah, dude, they traveled in time.
Oh, is that how they got there?
Yeah, it was a time traveling one. I can't remember how it was something with, like, they moved in, like, the subway train. It was like a I don't know. That one got real weird sci-fi,
Yeah.
like, somehow they traveled through time to go to back when there was samurais.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have like no memory of that. I remember the first and second one, and of course I remember Vanilla Ice. Psh,
Oh, yeah.
go ninja, go.
Yeah, that was
So you can't forget the
no,
those
it's
first
such
two.
a good yeah, he busts through the wall on accident when they're fighting. He's fighting what are those guys' names? That was the second movie where they had the other 2 guys,
Rocksteady and Bebop.
yeah, Rocksteady and Bebop,
Mm-hmm.
the boar and the
The boar
rhino.
and the rhino. Yep.
Yeah, they were fighting those guys, and he got, like, through a wall or whatever, and the everything just drops out, and then he pops up. And then I think they, like I can't remember how it works, so they brought the beat back and he starts dancing, and then Vanilla Ice just starts freestyling it, go ninja, go." For some reason, they know he's a ninja. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows, like, they might have heard of the Ninja Turtles, I don't know. But,
That's so good.
yeah, dude,
Oh shit,
there's
sorry.
the ASMR
Uh,
people are just like, "Wow."
oh, I hate it. Oh, I'm not used to wearing a hat while I podcast. Did you watch the new ones? The like CG
I have
live
not
action ones?
no, I have not seen any of the you're talking about, like, the new kids show?
Oh yeah. No, I'm talking about like the new movies that were done in like the mid
Oh, yeah.
2000s
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I did watch those, yeah.
those are
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
They did a
There
really
were
good job on the graphics, that's for damn sure.
oh my gosh, they look so good. The sizes are so different between them in that movie. That's one of the things I noticed a lot.
Yeah.
Like Raphael is just a beast in that
It's
movie.
fucking jacked, dude.
Just a big old Jack dude, and Leo's,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody.
And
Yeah,
Donnie's really, really fucking nerdy, has like a giant eyepiece on all the time. It's like, wow, my calculations say.
right, right. He's got like these weird like homemade glasses. Well,
Yeah.
I'm the purple one.
I gotta think there's totally kids that are like actually super big Donnie fans now with how the kids that were watching that movie more than likely never didn't have technology. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
they're that generation where they've just always had a computer and always been on the internet. There
Yeah,
has to be kids that are like, I'm fucking playing as Donnie.
right, right. Yeah, the turtles that we had like the old school their screens inside their van were like it was almost like a submarine. Like they had that
It,
big
old
green
sonar.
yeah, the big
Boom.
green boom boom. That's the technology our Donatello was working with.
The top of the line shit.
Yeah, crunching numbers with one of those things that you slide the beads on.
Didn't even have a fucking calculator. Oh shit. Uh, I want to talk. Well, actually, let's talk about the video games first before we go back to the toys because I know we started talking about the toys and I forgot to. But God, the video games. Oh my God, huge. We've already talked
Yeah,
about them once before, which is why I just have to bring it up again. And I still want one of those arcade machines. They are still available.
yeah,
Those one-up arcades.
yep,
Just
yeah.
$400 for a sweet
Oh,
piece in my room. Don't
I
don't
want
have
one.
that.
No, me neither.
Like I don't that I buy a couch if I had 400 with that $400, not not a Ninja Turtle arcade that sits in the corner and looks cool.
Yeah,
Sorry.
first on the list, couch. Sorry, Ninja Turtle machine. I don't.
You must wait.
Oh, I want one of those bad though. Yeah, I have Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo, and I have another Turtles game for the original Nintendo. But the original
Yes.
Nintendo game is not that Turtles in Time game is one of the best games I've ever played. That side scrolling and
Mhm.
to have it on that like arcade style where you can have the four players and everybody has their own joystick. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, we've talked about
Yeah.
it before, but
Yep.
I made so many temporary friends at the arcades when I was younger. Like we would go to the mall and like the way we did it like every Christmas, um like my mom would go shopping with my sister and they'd go buy stuff or whatever, or my mom would go buy stuff for me and my sister, and
Mhm.
me, my
Mhm.
sister, and my dad would all go to the arcade, whatever it ended up being. But we'd go in there and they just give us like $10 worth of coins and like go play. We're gonna distract you in here while we go buy
Right.
presents.
Well, we go
And
do
then
presents.
yeah, and then we go and like first thing always I'd run over to that machine
Boom, boom, boom.
because
Right over. Just
yeah,
run full speed.
right. It's like either I'm hopping on first and people are joining in, or I'm joining in somebody's game already, and
Yep.
it's just
It's the
we're
best. And then
we're
when you
going.
could bring it or not then to play it on the Super Nintendo was like without the social aspect, but it was still that solid. Like it still
Yes,
ran like the arcade. Like when you played it at home, you never thought like, "Oh, this is the shitty version of it." You were just like,
right,
"No, this is it. This is that game I play at the arcade."
right. No, it's the same thing. Yeah, on the Super Nintendo, two
Yeah.
player. I'm sure there's a way to get four somehow, but
So I've
yeah,
looked
playing
into
that
the
game is
multi-tap
awesome.
for the Super Nintendo, and it's harder to find if it exists than the one for the regular Nintendo, which I didn't even know existed, but I assumed there was a four-player for NES or
Probably
SNES,
probably costs the same amount at this point
probably.
to buy
Yeah.
that than it does to just buy the
The
player.
arcade one
Yeah,
up
the one up
fucking
version.
$400 one.
It's
Probably.
a rare thing, and they're just like, yeah, it's gonna run you $500. You know what? No, I'm just gonna go buy the whole console unit.
Yeah.
But
We had it so we had the NES or I was playing the NES still because that was still sort of the primary console around us when the Turtles in Time was in the arcades.
yep,
And I remember the huge jump in graphics. Like you just it was so big when they went to 16-bit. The 8-bit ones were just they were just
Yeah,
green with like black eyes, and then you'd have your color, your blue and orange or whatever, but it just wasn't
right.
right. It wasn't a shitty game, but it just wasn't right. And then when you made that
Well,
jump over to Super Nintendo, it was like, oh my God.
yeah, and even the way it played, the the floor, you had Mario was side scrolling where it's 100% two-dimensional, where Mario's just there and you're running sideways, and this one almost like tilts the floor at you like 20 degrees or whatever, so you have depth. Like your character could go up and down and left and right. You could have four players on the screen at the same time
Yes.
because they
Yes.
wouldn't all be like bunched up in a line. You could actually
Right,
go
because you
up
could
and down.
literally only move left and right because
Right.
they had that depth,
Yeah,
like you
this one
said.
you could
Yeah.
go up and down and back and forth and
Yeah,
oh
it
my
was great.
gosh.
Did you know that they remade the Turtles in Time for on PS3? Like they did a whole overhaul of the graphics.
No.
Yeah, I still have it on my PS3. I didn't look it up, but they took it down, like licensing runs out or whatever. You can't get it anywhere. So it lives on my hard
Really?
drive and that's it. I'm super pumped to have that. So I just hope that hard drive never crashes. I should probably back the damn thing up. And we should also play it
Yeah,
sometime. I just bring over my
for
PS3 and
sure.
hook it up.
Yeah, dude. I didn't know you had that. That's
Yeah.
sweet. Can we play
Yeah.
four player on that?
I don't know why we wouldn't be able to. I never tried because me and Jeremy would just get drunk and play Turtles in Time because like we would as kids, minus the drunk thing, we were just like we just
Right, well,
play it
yeah.
so much.
Maybe
You
you.
basically have the game somewhat memorized still. That's how good it is. Like you could play it and it just felt familiar.
Yeah, there were a couple of those games too where Turtles in Time was absolutely amazing, and I'm not saying that this game was as good, but there was a Simpsons one too that was a side-scrolling four-player, and you could choose all
Mm-hmm.
those, and I remember that one really well too. Just that style of game was really fun, but Turtles was so much above, just because the characters were cool too. Like even if
Mm-hmm.
you didn't get the character you wanted, it's still cool.
Yeah.
You're
And they
just
all
like, yeah,
play
I'm a Ninja
different.
Turtle. You play The
Mm-hmm.
Simpsons, and you're just like, I'm Maggie. Like,
Right.
I'm the baby. What's this? I don't
What
know
is
if you,
this?
I don't know if you could be the baby, but I remember you could be like Marge,
I
and
remember you
she,
could be Marge, and she
the-
just had that big ass vacuum, and it
yeah,
just.
she had a
I
vacuum
think she
cleaner.
was supposed to be the actual tough guy of the group, like the slow brawler type.
Right. She has this big old club you can hit everybody with. Bart, you could hit with a skateboard. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure Homer was just like the bar
Probably just
dad.
used a headbutt or
I
something.
think he was just using his fist, just swinging.
Oh, just
And
swinging.
oh,
Yeah.
and Lisa, I think was the other one. I think she had a saxophone. She
Oh yeah,
swung with a
probably.
saxophone.
Yeah.
But yeah, who cares? That's not what we're
Yeah.
talking about
That
now.
that
But
was a thing.
but very similar games. But you know that one
Yeah,
wasn't
those.
as good
Well,
because
that
it
was the
didn't hold
thing.
up.
That was the thing at the time. Those beat 'em up side scroller things were just huge. I mean, those games were super huge, and they're actually making a
Yeah,
comeback right now. So if we see a Turtles remake coming soon, I
yeah.
I wouldn't be totally surprised because yeah, they still make the TV show. Like I said, they have this rise of the TMNT, and April's more involved. Um, they're kind of
Okay.
they're kind of kids. April's not a reporter because they're kind of kids. Either way, the art style's super sick, and I know for a fact by the remake, this insurge, whatever. Hold on, let me rewind that thought. So there's a bunch of these side scrollers like Streets of Rage 4 just came out. They just
Yep.
re-released Battletoads, and there's been
Ooh.
many more like pixel ones that are sort of emulating this 16-bit era that we're talking about. And there was just tons of this uh, side-scrolling stuff that was going on in this era. Turtle stands out and still stands up though, which is a testament to it because there's so much shit that comes out. Even now, they're just not that great. But knowing
Yeah.
what they've done with Streets of Rage and knowing what they've done with Battletoads, to see Turtles come back and have it look like the Rise of the TMNT TV show,
Mhm. Mhm.
dude, I'd still play that even though I don't watch Rise of the TMNT. I would
Right.
totally
No.
give that game a shot.
Yeah, for sure. I would. Yeah. Like a lot of those video games, you don't need to know the storyline to be able to play him. I definitely would play it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and just having that feeling for the Turtles, like, just having this nostalgia for the Ninja Turtles and knowing that, okay, this is a different set of Ninja Turtles, but you know the gameplay is gonna be so close because they so nailed it with Turtles in Time that they're gonna make something similar, they're just gonna do it with the new IP.
Right. Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, just this is kind of just a side thought and a little bit of a backtrack, but one thing I didn't like about that movie, and just thinking about now, you don't have to know the storyline and stuff, is like I hope that the new stuff sticks with the original storyline of like how they found like that radioactive goo and changed them,
Mm,
because the
mhm,
live action CG movies
mhm.
were like, oh, they're aliens, like what?
Oh, they were, weren't they?
Yeah, like I don't like the way you
Oh.
change that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I know. I like the radioactive goo because you see them as little turtles, like we were talking about in the
right.
beginning of the podcast. You see like these little painted turtles, and they go into the radioactive goo, and bow.
Yeah, and it's stuff like that. Every once in a while, people they do remakes and change stuff, and you don't like it. You know,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
the same thing that they did with Child's Play. I might have talked about that on here before, but
Hmm.
Chucky in the original ones was some guy, Charles, whatever, and put his soul into the doll. In the
Hmm.
remake, he's like an Alexa type robot that's like linked into everything.
Oh,
He's not. Yeah, he has nothing to do with that. Like, dude.
stinker.
Yeah, yeah. It's just some like disgruntled uh, worker at the factory making the
Employee. Yeah,
robot.
that's what I
Like,
was just gonna say.
takes
The
take.
disgruntled employee.
Yeah, basically just takes
Yeah.
off all the safety mechanisms and makes this one evil, and then commits
Right.
suicide. Like,
Hmm. I
not
want
really
to do
much.
more
Yeah,
research into the rise of the TMNT to see if they kept it because I feel like they did. I remember watching the trailer for it when it first came out, and now I don't know for sure. I can't remember.
yeah.
But
I don't.
you know what? On that note, I'm gonna wrap it up, and then let's just talk a little bit about the toys as we fade out. So, because I think that'll
Oh,
be a funny way to end the podcast.
all right.
And if we start talking about the toys, we're gonna go for another hour, but we're already coming up on the hour and a half mark. So.
Right. So, well, that's how we
Maybe
do, I
we'll just
guess.
make TMNT toys another random take
Right. Right.
later. Just turn it into a fishing and TMNT
We're gonna talk about
nostalgia trips.
just the toys this time. And like always, I'll bring it around to like horror films somehow.
All right. This has been the Real AF TV podcast where we talk about turtles and random takes and fishing.
All that good stuff.
And all that good stuff. Make sure to give us a follow, a like, hey, review this thing too, because we're just kind of doing this without any feedback. We've gotten some feedback, but the more we get, the better we're gonna get, right?
I think so. I would hope so. Yeah, it sounds like a good thing to say.
All right. Listen to the Real AF TV podcast on other podcast services than the one you're listening on to if you want, because we're on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, uh, and Google. Did I say Google already? No, I said YouTube.
Yeah, you said YouTube first, and then yeah,
Yeah, and then Google. Yeah, so
yeah,
we're out there, guys. Share us with a friend.
right,
And speaking of sharing with friends, I had an astronaut Ralph,
yeah.
astronaut Raph. Dude, that was my favorite turtle toy.
He
Uh,
was an astronaut, huh?
dude, he was an astronaut, and he was just an astronaut suit with a turtle head on it. Like that was the only thing. It was basically an astronaut action figure with a Ninja Turtle Ralph head inside the bubble.
It's like they just screwed up something. They made a bunch of astronauts, and they're just like, yeah, why do we sell this thing? Nobody's gonna want to buy these astronauts. Oh, I'll put Raphael's head in there. We can make those for cheap. We already have the mold. Just pump out a bunch of Raph heads.
And just stick them on there. Boom, done.
Yeah.
They're like everybody's really like space race. Remember that? And they're like, no, it's the mid '90s. There's no such thing as a space race anymore.
Guys, this Buzz Aldrin action figure is just not selling.